chair now recognizes the gentlelady, the ranking member from Nevada, Ms. Titus.
Thank you. I mentioned in my opening statement about how FEMA in the new reality has to deal with misinformation. And then you heard one of our witnesses, the Congress lady from Florida, mention how it had been a problem as they tried to recover from the hurricanes. I wonder if you could talk to us about what kind of policy or official strategy y'all might be developing to deal with misinformation and how it does indeed hurt your attempts to get relief out to people who've been hit by these disasters.
Ranking Member Titus, we have experienced some level and type of misinformation probably throughout FEMA's history. We have a standard practice of standing up a rumor control page where we can put factual evidence out there. Because part of it is we also have a lot of people that are trying to defraud those that have just lost so much and pretending to be a federal agency such as FEMA to register even on their behalf. So we have had a standing practice of, when we identify this information, of standing up some type of mechanism to ensure that the general public can get factual information from a validated government source. In this case, it would be our source. But we continue to see this rise. We saw an increase in the amount of misinformation during the response to the Maui wildfires. But the amount of information and misinformation that we saw during the responses to Hurricanes Helene and Milton was at a scale that I had never seen before. And so this requires us to now include in our planning and preparedness how we are going to be able to reach people. The goal is not necessarily to take down misinformation, but how do we ensure that people are getting actual correct information so they're not afraid to reach out to their federal agency and apply for the assistance that they need, that they deserve, and that they're eligible for under the law.
Do you provide this information in different languages, and do you work with community leaders who can help you to get the information out, just not elected officers, but church leaders or civic leaders?
We work in a number of ways. For example, during Maui, we had one of our Native Hawaiian employees develop a public security safety announcement and delivered that out through her own social media channels to let people within her community know that they could and should apply for assistance. I remember an opportunity during Hurricane Ida in Louisiana where we found a Vietnamese community and we developed information in their native language and sent it out through their channels, and it was one of our most watched videos on FEMA, so we could get them actual information about what resources were available for them. We have a strong network through our faith-based leadership team to reach out to local faith leaders to help us get the information out to individuals and communities that may be apprehensive to try to reach out and apply for assistance. This is a team effort. It takes all of us in this holistic approach to be able to ensure anyone that was impacted by any natural disaster has access to the programs that we have and that we remove the barriers for them receiving the critical assistance to start their recovery process.
Thank you for that. You know, GAO consistently reports that y'all are drastically understaffed. We've tried to address that by having people be able to take time off and go back to their jobs to go and fight disasters. I think the most recent figure was 35% below what's needed. And we continue to put increasing demands on the agency. We point out how you fail to be there in a certain amount of time or not enough people on the ground or not fast enough. But if you don't have the people and the resources to do this work, what can you expect? So could you talk to us a little bit about how you're addressing those staffing challenges and what we might do to be able to help you?
The number that we report on our daily operations brief, which has been in the news as of late, showing that we had less than 5% of our personnel available, is one very specific part of our workforce, and that's those that are solely responsible to deploy to disasters, our disaster workforce. But we have a layered staff to approach when we have multiple events or catastrophic events like we experienced during Hurricanes Helene and Milton. We reach out to our steady state staff and we deploy them out into the field. We have our surge capacity force, which can bring in members from across the federal government that can go out into the field for 30 days. And we had over 800 members from across the federal government that went out into the communities to support them. This type of layered staffing approach is what we plan for. We plan for multiple events like this. But we appreciate tools like the CREW Act that was passed recently that give us the flexibility to recruit more people into our reservists, our intermittent workforce, which are really the heart of what we do. And that's the workforce that we need to continue to focus on, because we don't need everybody every day. But given the amount of disasters that we are experiencing, this surge need, this surge availability of our intermittent, our reservist workforce is critical to us being able to do the work.
Thank you.